Hey there, it's Boots Owen here. I've got two Dremels. This one here, which I think is more modern, and this one, which is a Dremel Multi. 395, Type 5, Code 83. This one, when I tap it, there's a lot of play in that front end. A lot of play, whereas with this one, there's no play. So I think the bearing in my Multi is broken. Let's get into it. I've no idea if this is a complicated job to do or not. Let's remove this grindstone from the chuck. Might have to remove the chuck completely. And let's see. We've got brush holders on the outside, which is something I think Dremel's still made in America. Yeah. So there you go. Although this is a European one, but it's still, I guess it has to be a European one because it's got a European plug on it, which is different to America. Self-tapping into plastic. A bit of a collar there, I think, so that might have to pop off. I know that AVE, or AVE, has looked into one of these, not necessarily this model, but looked in and said, wait a minute, made in America. And pretty substantial, you know, quality piece of engineering for what you get nowadays. And I think Dremels don't use them very much, but they have their moments. Okay, that's a bit of something there. Okay, back end, pull that off. And that's the back end off, and yeah, I said there's a collar there. Unscrews, very handy. Now I've got to unscrew that chuck, as I suspected. Gone on the floor. So the chuck, and I'm just hoping, oh there we go, okay, lift it off. There is a bearing there. And I don't want the brushes to just fly out, although it looks like they're actually anchored. This is a really, no, oh dear. Okay, if I pull that armature out, which maybe is possible, there's something. So the bearing sits on the smaller sized shaft, and this thing has a little hole on each side, but it doesn't seem to have a drift pin or anything going through it. Can't see. I identified this problem because the thing just vibrates like mental. If I disconnect this one and this one, I can get rid of the housing. If I could get my screwdriver in position. Easier. Oh, don't, oh, maybe do that actually. It's easier. So, no, it's not. Yeah, maybe it is. Oh, I don't know. Okay, so it's a little brushed universal motor by the looks of things. Variable speed up to, as I say, 37,000 RPM, which is very fast for a little deal like this. What are you doing? What are you doing? Put it back together for a moment. My brushes have, I'm gonna have to take those brush covers off. My brushes have popped out. Oh, won't somebody end the madness? I've just lost this thing, which is my, okay, so that's what those holes are for. So this thing, spring, should be in there, and that's the spring action that holds the thing in position whenever you're trying to change a blade or something like that. Still doesn't help me figure out how to get that bearing out. Ooh, there's another, oh right, there's wires to the cap as well. I wonder if they just come out. I can't see, so that's the switch. There's a little tiny triac, I think, in there, or something like that. Can't see how to undo this little capacitor wire. Let's get the brushes out. That's surely going to send springs flying. There we go, a spring, a little brush, and again. Okay, should have done the brushes first. Right, should have put that back together. So this bearing actually feels okay, and it sits in a rubber housing, which I'll leave in the body of the tool for now. And yeah, okay, we can take that out. So it might have been the case that if I'd just taken the brushes out, we would have been home and dry straight away. Now, that bearing doesn't feel bad. But what I also notice is it doesn't sit in a rubber housing, and perhaps if it did, just one like that, would it vibrate? So let's just see if I can put this back in like that. So how can I deal with this? I want to check it. Let's put that back in. Let's put that back in like that. I could do this with the armature winding in, I guess, but there's no great way either ways. Just tie these back together because I'm going to have to do it eventually. Okay, the wires are in. The switch is not in the right position. There we go. That's in. I lost that pin from the top end. Just wondering, like, why is it rocking? None of it looks like this doesn't even look used. That's what's bizarre about it. So it's just, I think it's just the bearing in this housing. Doesn't look cracked, doesn't look damaged. I think it's just that bearing. So I wonder if a little run of tape, a couple of runs of electrical tape cut in half, just to pad it out, might fix this. So here's some special tape that I got a long time ago for color coding. It's electrical tape, but I've never seen it supplied in these things. Got it at a car boot sale many years ago, probably 10 years ago now, and it's lasted well and just seems to do really well. So let's take a piece off that and try and cut it into strips that are about as wide as the That's great, that'll just pick up all the dust on the workbench now as that fell down there. Right, 2 and 3. So let's start with this one on the basis that it might be cleaner. I have to figure out, oh yeah, no, it's not much figuring out to do. So I just don't want to overlap these, so what I'm going to do is just trim it, just so that they don't really overlap. I'm going to give it 2 goes, and that fell the right way up, perfect. Give it 2 goes and try it at that, and then we can give it more if we need to. So basically what I'm doing is making a rubber cushion like the rubber on the other end for this end. It feels quite positive actually there, quite tight. 2 might be enough. Still a bit of moving in there. Let's just screw it up and see. It could be that the bearings are dead and I'm not able to feel that when I take them out. But it does feel like we're clamping down a bit now. I'll show you on this side. I tighten it up. Yeah, it's a bit, probably too much tape really, is it? See if this will still go on. I think it will. we go. Now, still a bit of play in that, you know. I wonder is it the back end wiggling? Okay, well I think I'll try it at this. I'm not going to turn it on there.
Oh. Please can I have it?
No.
Why?
Have what?
What was that?
Have my drill.
I mean that. I mean that, Daddy.
My scissors.
I mean that.
This, my Dremel. No. I need to fix it.
And when could it work?
So you can see there it did get pushed in between the plastic, which is good, but why is it still rattling? Look out the window and see the catsa.
But that has a big catsa. Daddy is a big catsa.
Mm-hmm. NSK bearings. What's that? 526. Is it 526Z? 626Z. Skateboard bearings. On this side. If I give it a little clean. 626Z. I think they're just like skateboard bearings. Right, put this one back in. Was there an up and a down? Doesn't matter. Don't think so. I think it's just a coil on each side looking at that arrangement there. Okay, put that in. Well, I'll have to take it out again. Put this in. The bearing sat in there. Okay. Then I need to put, no, I need to do it this way. Right, pop that out again. Put that pin in there for the detent or chuck lock or whatever you want to call it. Put that spring in there for the same. Any more for any more brushes? No, I don't think so. There's always something else with these things. Okay, that's right. The switch is tangled now. Come apart again. Get the switch down. Just needs to come in. So if this works, it's bizarre. Put these screws back in. A little bit of the way. If this works, it's bizarre because it means that tape cured it, which is quite a rare thing. I'm putting these in just far enough that I can get the brushes in, because I don't know if they're going to need a wiggle or what. Put that cover on there. They're going in quite easy compared to some brushes and some things, angle grinders being the one that I've taken apart most recently, I think, and they're trouble and definitely easier than the ones, well, the screws I'm talking about are easier than the angle grinder ones, but the brushes are easier to get in and out than on Bosch washing machines, which are the other thing that I seem to wind up dealing with. There we go. 2 more screws. Let's see if it still vibrates now in a sec. The thing worked fine, and as I said, there's very little work on it by the looks of things. But it just kind of vibrated in the hand, and some of that could be down to the tool not being smooth, I guess, but like you could feel the looseness in it, and I demonstrated that at the beginning. Tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up, tighten up. I've previously tightened up the things inside. Off, and then kind of infinitely variable, I guess, or something. Detent's working. That does feel a lot more positive. Hang this one up here like that. Screw this one on. Little tiny 3-jaw chuck there, and put this grinding stone back in because it's what I have. feels way better. Okay. Just a moment there, bud. Okay, so you're at the full limit of my...
It doesn't work, does it?
It does work.
That is.
And I can assure you that's a lot smoother than it was before. Excellent. So I didn't show you the before, but it was... Well, I showed you in the clunk clunk, but I didn't show you it running under power. It was a lot worse. Questions or comments, leave them below. Thanks for watching. See you later.
I can say that, Daddy.
You say it.
Thanks for watching. See you later.
See you later.